I just don't understand. You can work out how old I am there now from that. A lot of old men thousands of years ago, they're stirring around a cauldron or they're like, Hello everyone and welcome back to another week's video. Hope you're all having a lovely week. Last week it was my birthday. I am 26. I love birthdays, and so my birthday inspired me this week to talk about women aging. So as I said, I love birthdays, I love talking about them, I love getting older, I love everything, and kind of along the way I realised that that's not the same for everyone, for every woman should I say, and it's kind of this weird thing, and I just think, yeah, I'm going to talk about it today. And again, it's going to be fairly chatty, but I think it's something worth talking about. So like, obviously I've seen it in like magazines, and I've seen just the kind of the general conversation around women aging. It's not very good. But I remember last year, it was for my 25th birthday, I said, oh, to someone, I said, oh, it's my birthday. It was like an older man, and he was like, oh, can I ask you how old you are now? And I was like, yeah, you can. I'm 25. What, there's nothing wrong here? What? And I was so confused. I genuinely, like, I just don't understand, you know? And like, you see like women make those jokes like over and over again about their age. So if you're at a conference, or if you're, I don't know, listening to someone and they're saying when they went to college, and then they'll say like, oh, it was in 1981 or something, and then they'll make a joke like, oh, and you can work out how old I am there now from that. That's like, and it's everyone in the room is kind of nervous laughing, because it's like, oh, woman talking about her age, oh my god. And it's like, I never find these jokes funny, and I also don't get them. I'm like, what's so wrong if we worked out your age? Why don't you just say your age? What am I missing here? I never got it. And obviously as I've gotten older, I've realised that women aging is apparently shameful and wrong. And I'm like, oh, didn't realise that. I don't think it is, but okay. So, like, first of all, I just want to say, gals, whatever age you are, shout it from the rooftops. It's amazing. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's amazing. And you'll see my kind of general thoughts throughout this video will just be how lucky we are to age and how grateful we are to age. And I just kind of want to change the conversation. And thankfully, a lot of people are changing the conversation lately. And so I'm just kind of adding my own 2 cents to the mix, and just kind of, yeah, keeping that conversation going on how lucky we should be to be aging. Another thing I want to talk about is anti-aging products. OMG, anti-aging products. We are just conditioned by the media and by advertising to think a certain way, and it's something I've been aware of for a while, but I didn't really think about it properly, the whole anti-aging industry, and how it really, even just those two words, that we should all want to anti-age. And it's like, it's not saying it outright that aging is bad, but it's saying that we shouldn't want to age in this really slight, minuscule way. And it's just crazy when you look at the industry that there is for anti-aging products. It's huge, and the money that's put into it, and like, it's just like not the same for men. Like, I think, yeah, there are some products for men, but it, like, the scale is just not the same at all. Women's anti-aging products are just like, what? And men's ones are like, oh, okay, like 2 products here. And like, what's even funnier is that they'll use like older women in these ads, but they'll cake them in makeup, or they'll like airbrush them. And I get it, because the whole point is to not age and not have wrinkles. But it's like, do you not kind of see the mixed messaging you're saying? You're putting in an older woman, and like, she herself, I'm like, is that not like so insulting that like you're telling her that she should want to not have these wrinkles, and like that messes with people's heads. And you know, like, models always say like, you know, and actually like Jamila is a perfect example. Like, she in a different sense, so she said she's, you know, brown, and she would always say that like whenever she was photoshopped, she would be photoshopped lighter, and it would actually mess with her head. And like, I assume it's the same for women where their wrinkles are photoshopped out, and like, that is not good for your mental health. Like, oh my goodness. And like, now whenever I see ads for anti-aging products, I'm just like fuck you, to be honest. I'm just like, how dare you like say to women that aging is bad. Like, I think like Sure, I think like aging like before your time, like I think if you're always out in the sun, like that's gonna damage your skin, like, you know, and like no one wants to have leather skin when they're 30, you know, like obviously I think like maybe there's something to that, aging before your time, but like when you're 60 or 70, you should have wrinkles. It's just a part of life and of skin elasticity and science, and it's just the way it goes. And like, what's wrong with that? You know, why are we? And it's very, very simple. We literally just want women's money, and we want them to spend loads and loads of money on anti-aging products, which they don't need. And like, I don't even know, do they work? I'm not even gonna get involved in that conversation. But it's just so upsetting and so sad, and I'm just so not here for it. And I guess like why I'm doing this on this channel and why I think it's like a feminist issue is, as I said before, it's just simply not the same for men. It is not the same for men at all. Men are allowed to age. Men are encouraged to age. Oh my god, like it's, you know, there's this kind of narrative that like, oh, you know, like boys are just kind of inexperienced, but like, you know, a grown man, like, you know, he's where it's at. And then it's just not the same for women. Like women having experience and women being grown up, it's just not looked at in the same way. It's looked at in a bad way, and I hate it, you know. And like I think we've all heard of the term silver fox. Oh my goodness, like silver fox, it's literally, I imagine a lot of men, a lot of old men in a room somewhere thousands of years ago, and they're stirring around a cauldron or they're doing something, and they're thinking, how can we trick everyone into thinking that you know, men getting older is great but women getting older is shit, and they're concocting this phrase silver fox, and it's just, it has permeated society, and we all use it now, and I use it, like we all use it. And you know, men being grey and men having wrinkles is a sign of experience and, you know, wiseness, is that a word? I don't know, being wise, and it's seen as a good thing, and they've just tricked us all into thinking that this is amazing. And like, the thing is, like, it's like I'm angry because it should be. Getting old should be amazing. But I'm angry because I'm like, why is it not the same for women? Old women are called granny. Whether they have children and grandchildren or not, they're just called granny. A man who's 60 can still be considered sexy. But a woman who's 60 is just like written off. Bye bye, you are a granny. You are not even worth attention anymore. It is just so insane, and I'm not here for it, guys. And like, you see it loads in movies, like, and it's such a big thing in like Hollywood and like the movie industry. Like, you look at movies and it's like 50-year-old men with like 25-year-old women, and it's like, no, and they'll be like in a relationship or whatever, and it's like, no one's pointing out how weird this is. Like, it's almost as if it's normal because that's what we've seen. Whereas, and I know, which is even worse, when I watch a movie where the man and the woman are the same age, I always think that the woman is older. Even though they're the same age, because I'm not used to seeing man and women the same age next to each other, I think like, oh god, she looks way older than him, because I've been trained to view women as older and decrepit, and I'm like, and not sexy and not romantic, and I see them together and I'm like, so like subconsciously I'm like, oh, that looks weird, and then I have to say, Lara, no, that's like, snap out of it, that's just not how it should be. Like, it's just, it's so silly. And like, and I remember, and actually one kind of concrete example is, do we all watch Grey's Anatomy? Grey's Anatomy is amazing, I love it. But Ellen Pompeo, like, she's literally Dr. Grey. She, you know, it was like a big story there, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, maybe not even, that she is like the highest paid, kind of like daytime TV person or something in America. And because Grey's Anatomy has been going for like 15 seasons, and she's now being paid like 20 million, is it like per year or per episode or something, and it was like a huge deal, you know. And she basically went on Ellen, I think, and she said, I have to be mindful that I'm getting older. I think she's around 50, and she was like, you know, the parts and the opportunities for filming and for movies are not the same as they once were for me, so I need to be strategic about my life and my career. And she said, you know, Grey's Anatomy is nothing without Dr. Grey, me, so you're gonna pay me all this money. But like, and good for her, she had all that money, and I'm like, woohoo. But it's sad that she even had to think about her lack of opportunities now that she was older. Like, I just don't know, would men ever have to think about that? And it's quite sad. And like, I hope she still likes her job, and I hope she likes being on Grey's Anatomy. I hope that she isn't just staying there because it's the only opportunity she has. But it's, you know, she was right to have to think about that, because she is older and because she is going to be treated differently in in her industry now that she's older, and it's sad. And I'm like, yeah, good for you getting your money's worth, but it's just so sad that she even has to think about that, and it's very, very much a thing, and it's really unfortunate. You know, this video I've kind of been like, yeah, aging's great and it's lovely, but I remember when I got my first grey hair, I was traumatized. I was like, oh my god. And it's funny because I told myself over and over again that I was fine with aging, that I was okay, and then you get your first grey hair and you're like, it's real. Or like when I started getting wrinkles like around my eyes and stuff, like I thought I was like okay with it, but I was like, maybe I'm not, you know? And it's just funny to think that even someone who's so conscious of it and who's so kind of outwardly like, no, aging's great, when it happens to you, you're like, oh my god. And it's really, really hard not to give in to that pressure. And I totally understand all these women that are buying these anti-aging products, or that are having Botox, or that are doing all these things and, you know, wearing makeup, because it is so hard to not give in to that pressure. And even like that, you know, that face app, what was it called? Was it called Face App? So I did that, and I wasn't expecting, I wasn't prepared for how I would feel. So I did the Face App, obviously got my face back, and I was older, and I was shocked. And I think like maybe it was because like it happened so quickly, like obviously I'm not going to age that fast, maybe that's why I had such a kind of a big reaction to it. But I was really surprised at my reaction. I really was like, oh my god, I don't want to look like that. I really was scared, you know. I was like, and I was shocked at my reaction, because I don't think that way at all, and I really don't think there's anything wrong with aging, but you realise how deep that kind of insecurity goes, or how deep like society has actually kind of like penetrated, because I really was like, oh my god, like I was scared to look that old. And I hate that. You know, I'm here saying like, oh man, aging's great, but I mean, like, I'm as scared as everyone, but we need to collectively just change the narrative around aging, women aging, and say how amazing it is. And like, you know, these older women have so much more experience. They like, you know, you hear of older women saying, oh my god, since I, you know, got older, I don't give a fuck. You know, they just don't care, and they just are not as insecure as they once were. And I can't wait for that, and I can't wait to keep learning and get older. And every year I shout my age from the rooftops, and I hope I keep doing that until I die. I really hope that when I'm like 70, if I reach there, hopefully, that I'm gonna be like, woohoo, I'm 70. And I implore other women as well to just shout their ages from the rooftop and just be super, super excited and proud and not ashamed, and don't let anyone else make you feel ashamed for aging, you know. And like when it's your birthday, be like, woohoo, I'm 47, you know. Or when it's your half birthday, say I'm 47 and a half, you know, and just completely change the narrative around it. And I just think like it would make women so much happier. And if we all stopped buying those stupid anti-aging creams, oh my goodness, bye bye. So that is this week's video. I just want everyone to celebrate their age and just be happy, and just, there is nothing wrong with women aging. We are amazing, and we are so much more confident and so much sexier and so much more amazing when we age and when we grow up. And yeah, it's just something to be celebrated and not something to be ashamed of. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please give me a like or comment or whatever, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!